While the world's attention is fixed on collapsing fronts and shifting alliances, something explosive is about to unfold over the skies of Yugoslavia, an incident so chaotic, so politically dangerous. High above the rugged Balkan terrain, 12 P38 Lightnings cut through the cold morning air. Their twin booms glint in the sunlight as they fly in tight formation, engines roaring like thunder. At the head of the formation is Colonel Clarence Theodore Edwinson, calm, experienced, scanning the ground below for anything that looks remotely hostile. Then he sees it. A thick plume of white steam, a train, a German steam locomotive, chugging along a winding track. It's not their assigned target, not even close. But in wartime, opportunities don't come labeled. That's a locomotive. Edwinson mutters. A beat of silence. Then the decision snaps into place. Let's go get it, boys. The Lightnings roll over as one and dive. Airspeed builds fast. The locomotive swells in their gun sights. Triggers are squeezed. .50 caliber fire rips into the train. Metal screams. Steam erupts violently from punctured boilers as the locomotive shudders under the assault. Smoke and vapor billow skyward while the American fighters pull up hard, climbing away from the wreckage. For a split second, it feels like a clean hit. Then the sky explodes. Black bursts of German flak blossom around the formation, sharp and violent. Shrapnel punches through thin aluminium skins. The Lightnings shudder as fragments steer past cockpits and engines. Everyone, get low. Edwinson yells into the radio. The formation drops toward the treetops, hugging the terrain in a desperate attempt to escape the guns. But one Lightning isn't fast enough. A direct hit. Flames engulf the aircraft instantly. It falls away from the formation, trailing fire like a comet. I'm hit.
Units,
I'm going down. The pilot's voice cuts through the radio. Panicked. Final. Edwinson levels out just above the forest canopy, craning his neck backward, searching the sky behind him. Instead, he sees a fireball slam into a hillside. Does anyone see a shoot? No one answers. Every pilot listens, hoping someone else will say yes. The silence is unbearable. Negative. Sir. Edwinson swallows hard. Rage tightens in his chest. Copy. The surviving Lightnings streak onward, roaring over the Serbian mountains, low and fast. Then the terrain suddenly opens up. The ground drops away into a wide valley, and right in front of them lies an airfield. Exactly where their briefing said it would be. Edwinson's eyes lock onto movement on the road below. A long column of vehicles, trucks, tanks, rolling north toward Belgrade. Everything matches the intelligence. No hesitation.
Break.
No
Watch
doubt.
the bandit at
There
6
they are.
o'clock. I'm on
Edwinson
him.
says coldly. Blue flight. Hit that German convoy. Red and yellow. Take the airfield. Yes, sir. What the Americans don't know, what they can't possibly know, is that this is not a German convoy. Below, Red Army soldiers and Yugoslav partisans are celebrating. Soviet flags wave proudly from trucks. Men laugh, sing, and ride shoulder to shoulder, unaware that death is screaming toward them from the sky. Engines thunder overhead. The soldiers look up. P-38s. Allies. Smiles spread. Cheers rise. The convoy keeps moving, until several aircraft suddenly peel away from formation and dive straight toward them. A shout breaks the celebration. No, no, they're attacking us. Hands scramble for flags. Red banners are ripped free and waved frantically toward the sky. But the Lightnings are already committed. Triggers are pulled. Bullets rip through men and vehicles alike. Trucks explode into splinters. Soldiers scatter in panic as the column dissolves into chaos. Then the bombs fall. Explosions tear through the road, engulfing what remains of the convoy in fire and smoke. At the nearby airfield, the blasts are heard clearly. Heads snap upward.
Quickly!
A swarm of aircraft is coming straight at them. Man the guns. Sirens wail. Soviet crews sprint to anti-aircraft positions. Barrels elevate. tracers claw into the sky, reaching up toward the oncoming attackers. Above, Edwinson leads his men down once more, convinced he's diving on a Luftwaffe base packed with enemy fighters. The trap is set, and neither side realizes the truth. Anti-aircraft fire rips upward from the airfield, black smoke and tracer lines clawing toward the diving Lightnings. The Americans push through it, convinced they are attacking a German base filled with Luftwaffe aircraft. 20mm shells and .50 caliber rounds pour from the P38s, tearing across the ground. Rows of parked aircraft are shredded. Earth and metal explode upward as bullets walk across the field. Enemy fire answers immediately. Pull up. Pull up. The Lightnings begin to climb away, all except one. Second Lieutenant Eldon Coulson's P-38 shudders violently. Control surfaces are damaged. The aircraft responds sluggishly, sinking lower than it should. She's not coming up. Coulson fights the yoke with everything he has, but the Soviet gunners have him now. Every gun on the field seems to turn toward the struggling Lightning. Tracers converge. Wings are ripped apart. The tail disintegrates. Control vanishes. The P-38 crashes barely a kilometer from the airfield, exploding on impact. From above, Edwinson sees another fireball bloom against the ground. His anger boils over. They're going to pay. He snarls. Build altitude. We're going in again. Below, Soviet gunners continue firing skyward, convinced they are under attack by German twin-boom reconnaissance aircraft, FW-189s. Nothing about this makes sense. The battle only escalates. The F-9s enter the fight. On the ground, Red Army pilots sprint through smoke and debris toward their aircraft. Combat alert. Scramble. All pilots, scramble. The first two Yak-9s roar to life. Lieutenant Ivan Krivonich leads, with Junior Lieutenant Sergei Shipilya tight on his wing. As they taxi, Krivonich looks up and freezes. The attackers are already turning back. Shipilya, faster. They line up, shove the throttles forward, and blast down the runway. The Yak-9s leap into the air as enemy fighters loom overhead. They skim the treetops, racing away from the immediate danger. Behind them, the rest of the Soviet pilots are not so fortunate. Multiple Yaks lift off together, slow, exposed, climbing. Perfect targets. Hit them before they gain altitude. The American pilots don't hesitate. They dive at full speed through anti-aircraft fire. Guns blazing, bullets tear into Soviet aircraft. One Yak disintegrates instantly. Others are riddled with holes, breaking formation in desperate evasive maneuvers. One pilot doesn't break away. He sees a Lightning pulling out of its dive, exposed. In a split second, he pulls up, squeezes the trigger, and sends a burst straight through the P-38's path. The Lightning explodes mid-air. Flames engulf the aircraft as it spins violently downward. Inside is Second Lieutenant Philip Brewer. There is no time to escape. The wreck crashes northeast of the airfield. Edwinson pulls his formation upward, finally clearing the worst of the flak. He looks down. One enemy aircraft burning. Two of his own men dead. This is getting ugly, he mutters. Defensive circle. We fight our way out. Krivonich and Shipilya turn back, low over the trees. Krivonich and Shipilya race forward at over 400 kilometers per hour. They are isolated now, separated from their squadron. They glance back and see the slaughter below, American fighters ripping into helpless aircraft and ground forces alike. They know what they have to do. Both Yaks pull sharply into a vertical climb. For the first time in history, American and Soviet fighters are about to engage in full air-to-air combat. Shipilya, attack. I'll cover you. Roger that. Shipilya dives in fast, firing his 20mm cannon and machine gun. His rounds slam into one of the Lightning's twin fuselages. He flashes past and breaks away to set up another pass. Too late. Two P-38s peel off and dive after him. Krivonich sees it instantly. Shipilya, break right. Now. Shipyard yanks the stick just in time. Tracers ripped through the space where he had been a second earlier. I can't shake him. Hold on. I'm coming. Krivonichik barrels into the fight. Heart pounding. Tracers streak past his canopy as he lines up a shot. His first burst misses. The American pilot breaks off, but Krivonichik ignores him. He swings onto the second Lightning hunting shipyard. This time, his aim is perfect. Rounds tear into the twin booms. Flames erupt. The Lightning lurches forward. Out of control. The American pilot bails out moments before the aircraft crashes 8 kilometers north of the airfield. Thank you, Commander. No time. Stay sharp. They barely have a moment to breathe. More Soviet fighters arrive, pouring into the fight, scattering the Americans. For a brief instant, it looks like the tide is turning, but chaos rules the sky. Krivonichik chases a fleeing P-38 upward, spiraling higher and higher. The American fighter struggles. It's not built for low-altitude turning fights. Krivonichik closes in. He has the Lightning dead in his sights. Then, without warning, a burst of fire rises from the ground. A Soviet anti-aircraft crew, firing wildly into the chaos, sends a volley straight into Krivonichik's yak. There is no time to react. The aircraft disintegrates. Shipyard watches his commander's plane break apart and plunge toward the earth. Silence on the radio. His friend is gone. Grief flashes through him, then disappears under pure survival instinct. He spots another American fighter below and dives back into the fight alone. He never makes it out. AP-38 climbs steeply, stalls deliberately, then fires. Shipyard flies straight into the burst. His yak crashes just 500 meters north of the airfield. Soviet losses continue to mount. And still, neither side understands the truth. The sky over the valley is now a tangled web of smoke trails, burning wreckage, and frantic radio calls. American pilots are low on fuel, shaken, and confused, but still fighting. On the ground, Soviet commanders are desperately calling every nearby base. We need fighters now. Anyone, get airborne. Answering the call is a fresh flight of Yak-3s, led by Captain Alexander Kolchinov. As his aircraft cuts through the clouds toward the battlefield, unease gnaws at him. He's been told German FW-189s are attacking. But nothing about this feels right. As Kolchinov approaches the combat zone, he finally sees them clearly. Twin booms, central cockpit, distinctive shape. His blood runs cold. Those are not German aircraft. Those are American P-38 Lightnings. Something is very wrong, he mutters, abandoning his attack run. Kolchinov pulls alongside the Americans and rocks his wings aggressively. We are allies. No response. Instead, a Lightning slows, slips in behind him, and opens fire. Damn it. Kolchinov snaps into evasive maneuvers. Tracers tearing past his canopy. He barely escapes. Heart hammering. Once again, he flies directly through the chaos, desperately trying to get the Americans' attention, flashing past them, rocking his wings, showing the red stars painted boldly on his aircraft. Still nothing. Until he pulls alongside the lead aircraft, Edwinson. For a split second, Edwinson's eyes lock onto the yak beside him. Red stars. Clear as day. His stomach drops. He looks around, really looks, at the aircraft twisting and turning around him. Every single one of them bears Soviet markings. A wave of horror washes over him. Holy shit. His hand slams the radio switch. Cease fire. Cease fire. They're Soviets. Repeat, they are Soviets. Everyone disengage and return to base. Now, the order echoes through the American formation. One by one, the P-38s break off and turn west, fleeing the battlefield. The Soviet pilots give chase. Adrenaline still burning hot. Then a new voice cuts through the chaos. All pilots, let them go. They are allies. Reluctantly, the Yaks peel away, turning back toward their shattered airfield. Just like that, the battle ends. Silence returns to the valley, broken only by smoke, fire, and the distant crackle of burning
American.
wreckage.
How did it get
Aftermath
here?
and fallout.
Sabotage,
In the hours
perhaps.
that follow, confusion
We
turns
must
to
report
anger.
this
Some
immediately.
within Soviet high command believe the attack must have been deliberate. For a brief, terrifying moment, the incident threatens to spiral into a diplomatic catastrophe between allies who are still fighting a common enemy. But cooler heads prevail. The United States sends an official letter of explanation, laying out the chain of misidentification, the faulty intelligence, the assumptions made in the heat of combat. The Soviets issue their own account, detailed, emotional, and likely embellished in places. American records remain scarce. Even today, many historians believe the full truth is still buried, classified, sealed, and locked away, to remain hidden for a full century after it happened. What is certain is this: on a single November morning in 1944, over the mountains of Yugoslavia, the unthinkable occurred. American and Soviet fighters, allies against Nazi Germany, met in deadly combat. Men died, aircraft burned, and history quietly turned away, leaving the incident half forgotten, half hidden. And if you think this kind of mistake belongs only to the past, stay tuned, because just 55 years later, not far from this very airspace, another impossible aircraft will be shot down, changing the future of aerial warfare forever.